Okay, so we saw an introduction to absolute values. We saw graphing absolute value. We did absolute value equations. Then we graphed absolute values. And now we're going to compare the same question done algebraically and graphically on the same page. So let's do it quicker. So let's go for the absolute value of x plus 2 equals 4. We're going to do the positive case and the negative case. Positive case and negative case. So as we know now, the positive case just stays. X plus 2 equals 4. The negative case will distribute a negative into the absolute values like brackets. Solve negative x on the right first, this time, sure. Add 2 to both sides. Divide both sides by -1. X equals -6. Circle our answer. The equation on the left, -2 from both sides. X equals 2. Circle our answer. X equals 2 and -6. Check your answer. Look on the notes. They both work. Substitute the left-hand side of the equation given and the right-hand side and do your stuff and see if it works. So, look at this. Positives and negative answers. Because it's absolute value. It's not just, doesn't just mean make everything positive and then we can have all positive stuff. Do what's inside the absolute value, make it positive. When working on equations and graphing, do a positive and negative case. Okay, so now let's do it graphically. So I'm going to rewrite the equation down below. So let's go for x plus 2. Absolute value equals 4, the same equation we've been working on. And let's go for the y equals the left-hand side of the equation. Y equals the absolute value of x plus 2. And y equals the right-hand side of the equation, the absolute value. The non-absolute value. It might also be an absolute value. Okay, but the equation on the left has a positive case and a negative case. And if we distribute a positive into the absolute value, we get positive x plus 2. And if we distribute a negative into the absolute value, we get y equals -x minus 2. The question that we did on the last page. And then y equals 4. So 3 equations. So if I draw those, remember I'm going to go very quickly. We just did these 2 equations, big red above. We just did these 2 equations on the last example. So I'm just going to draw exactly y equals x plus 2, all positive, and y equals -x minus 2, all positive, and then the line y equals 4. Y equals 4. And what are my intersection values? Well, 2, 4, and -6, 4. Now, there are obviously y values of 4, and we never started with any x values in the beginning. We only introduced y to allow us to more easily solve for x. And what do you notice about the x values by graphing and the x values by algebra? They obviously have to be the same. So we now know 2 different methods to solve equations, just like we always have, by algebra and by graphing. Doing the positive case and the negative case. So we've taken a look at some lines. Now we'll take a look at some parabolas.